Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. The preseason game is almost there. It's just a few hours to go. I think, right? It's just some 8 9 hours to go. I can't just wait for the preseason game to be to get along. I mean, and also we are having the a watch along for the preseason game live on this channel. It's 6 a.m. tomorrow morning Indian Standard Time, and I'm like very excited to see many of our youngsters play. How Alvarez will play in that game. How will Haaland play in that game? Lot of talking points will be there from that game. But we actually have a lot to talk on the show tonight. The first thing is regarding the Neymar thing. A tweet from the Blue Moon thing a few days back, and we all thought, oh, is Neymar was back again and stuff. But Pep Guardiola himself yesterday has clarified that Neymar is a nice player, but he's not in any conversations with to join City. Neymar was never in the conversations to join City. It is confirmed by Martin Blackburn as well, who's considered to be a tier 1 journalist regarding City. So that thing gone. I never really honestly wanted Neymar anywhere near the club. I mean, many of you as well. You lot also didn't want Neymar near the club. I know he would have had that attacking sense and all, but I never thought that psychologically and stuff he never fitted the. I mean, attitude wise and all. I never thought that Neymar fitted what City wanted to achieve. And the talking point of today's video is the main one is Cancelo taking on that number 7 shirt, guys. Sterling gone and he's taken on that shirt from Sterling. So what do you think that Cancelo's role will be? Uh, this season will he I don't believe that Pep will convert Cancelo to a winger suddenly, and Cancelo will be a replacement for Sterling straight on in that winger position. I for a bit never believed this, but are we seeing another one of these Pep Guardiola kind of innovations? Like, for example, could he play Cancelo as a fullback in some matches, and in some matches, could he play Cancelo as a winger and Kyle Walker as a fullback? I mean, I think that has never been done actually before for any team, but never say never with Pep. He can do anything. Football Tricks is here. Hey, Football Tricks, how are you? He says, do we have to subscribe to City TV? Cause I have the app. I hope it's free of cost. I don't know about City TV Football Creeks, but I know that the match will be telecasted live on a Sony Live or Sony TV on the television, and will be streamed on the Sony Live app. And also, it's there on the Geo TV. So in India, it's Sony Live or Geo TV. So it's available on both those things. I actually checked day before yesterday when you asked about it. Football fixes, I think he will be given that free role, defense, midfield, and attack. But I also think with Cancelo taking on this number 7 shirt, I also think that maybe Pep might play a three at the back formation as well. A wing back. You can't rule out Cancelo being a wing back actually. So even that possibility we can't rule out. But it was actually a surprise that Cancelo had taken on that number 7 shirt. I did not expect it at all. Suman says subscription is there. Maybe then it is there because I've not used the City TV app. So I don't know about that. But Suman says the subscription is there. So the role of Cancelo is interesting. And another interesting thing is, guys, Pau Torres linked to City again. I mean, the noises are all coming from Barcelona, I mean, from the Spanish press and all. But again, I don't understand this. Pau Torres, I mean, with Ake staying, what does it mean we are linked with Pau Torres? I mean, it doesn't make any sense now. But maybe if I think about it, it makes sense in two ways. Pau Torres to City. One is if Pep thinks that he'll only get Cucurella, which means that's Benjamin Mendy's spot. So he's not replacing Zinchenko, which means there is one more left-sided spot empty. and maybe Pepsi's Ake to cover that left-sided spot as well. Which means maybe you can bring in Pau Torres. That means Pau Torres might be the fourth choice centre back, and Ake might have to play on the left hand side. I mean, that possibility doesn't look the case because Nathan Ake playing left back. I know he's played at City for a while, but generally is adapted that centre back role, that left sided centre back role, and stuff. I think this is the only possibility for me why we bring in Pau Torres. Otherwise, I don't see us bringing in Pau Torres. Football fixes, bro. Zinchenko taking number 11 shirt. Anything is possible. but for uh, but for Arsenal football freaks, I think Zinchenko will play in the midfield, right? I know that the rumors were that Tierney is injury prone and stuff, and that is why Zinchenko might play at left back for Arsenal. But I expect Zinchenko to start at. Start in the midfield for Arsenal actually. But like you said, yeah, anything is possible. JSK says, have you seen the Fabrizio's video about Bernardo Silva? He said there is no talk between Barca and City till now. Spanish media spreading bullshit as usual. Yes, I even yesterday, right? There's a video on his Twitter account or something, and he said no talks between City and Barca, but excuse me, but he keeps on mentioning that Bernardo Silva is the obsession of Xavi. I think Fabrizio Romano on his channel has mentioned this at least 3 or 4 times that Bernardo Silva is the obsession of Xavi. But he has mentioned one thing. He has mentioned that Frankie De Jong deal will decide everything. If maybe Barcelona can sell Frankie de Jong to United, then they will come for Bernardo Silva. That is what Fabrizio Romano is saying. But honestly, looking at it, I think the Frankie de Jong deal will stretch till the season mid or till August mid or something at least. And after a season has started, do you expect City to actually sell a player? I don't know, but again, Barca is a mystery for me in this transfer window, you know. Especially you ask Chelsea fans and they'll tell you Rafinha, they agreed a fee with Leeds and he goes to Chelsea. Jules Koundé, he goes to Barca. Jules Koundé, again, Barca is telling him to wait, he's waiting. It's a mystery with Barca. Barca are getting everybody they want, but in this transfer window, I think that we are the club who are going to stop this kind of domination of what Barca is thinking they are. We are the ones I think who will prevent a player which Barca wants desperately to stop leaving us. And also I think it's interesting if suppose United fans, the United community is confident that they'll get Frankie De Jong. One of my friends was saying Barca is playing the hard game, but we know they need the money and they owe Frankie De Jong 60 million pounds in wages or something, and they want to get rid of him. He was telling that we will get Frankie De Jong 90% chance. So if De Jong goes from Barca, then Barca will surely be on the replacement, right, for a CM, and Bernardo will be the main choice. They can't go a season without replacing Frankie De Jong, right? So that will be interesting. Imagining Frankie De Jong gets sold. So the scenarios here, guys, are like very mysterious surrounding Barcelona and the pull that they're having on the players right now. I would really hate if Bernardo Silva goes in the when the season starts in mid-August or something. Football fixes Pau Torres linked because we are going with the three at the centre back system. That has to be the thing. Football brings three at the back system. Yes, if you look at it, three at the back system, that actually makes a lot of sense. Three at the back, that means that we will not buy another left back. Maybe it's Cucurella and that's all. We're not replacing Zinchenko. Ake is the replacement for Zinchenko and Pau Torres is joining the centre back system. The three at the back thing is interesting because there is nothing about a formation change or something, right, around the club. I mean, around the sources close to the club, none of them are coming up with, oh, Pep has a formation change in mind and all of these things. Nothing. So that is why I find it mysterious. Will there be a formation change? Is the time on the training field enough before the season starts enough to implement the three at the back system, Or then we might have to think that maybe Pep has been drilling that three at the back system before as well, last season as well, just to have it in other thing in the armory. Maybe you have to think like that. But again, I think to conquer Antonio Conte three at the back, Tuchel three at the back, I still think that you need to match those formations, and Pep is thinking strongly about it. How do I defeat Conte? By matching the formation. GSK says Xavi is not powerful enough to beat Pep. I mean that is the one thing I'm really hoping for. Is Bernardo might be the obsession of Xavi, but Pep Guardiola, I think, is the one who's standing between Bernardo leaving us and joining Barca. I think. Period. That's it. And also Xavi might not be powerful, but one concern I have here is the pull of Barcelona. The pull of Barcelona is something, last season when Ferran Torres left in the mid-season, right, in January or something, Pep said something interesting in a press conference right after the transfer. We have to somehow build to be a club that prevents the pull of these players going to clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich to an extent. Pep literally said this. So Pep news is that Pep is very strong. Pep is very adamant on this. The fact that he will not let Bernardo leave, whatever it may be, whatever it may take. So for me at least, 99% Bernardo is staying at City. I mean, it might just come back to bite me, but I think Bernardo is staying at City unless something drastic happens. At this point, I don't see us losing Bernardo. Football Creek says, don't know why feel Frankie will come to City and Bernardo will go to Barca. Football Critics actually will discuss about that Frankie de Jong thing. I actually wanted to discuss on the last show 2 days back, but I just forgot about it. Let us go back to 2019. 2019, something important happened. Frankie de Jong, that season, I think, right? Frankie de Jong and Ajax reached the semi-finals of the Champions League, where they were beaten by Spurs, and you had Frankie de Jong, who was one of the best players in Ajax, and everyone wanted him, right? City wanted him, Pep wanted him, but everybody thought that Barcelona got him because he wanted to go to Barcelona, and that is the rubbish Frankie de Jong is speaking till now. But that is not the truth. The truth is Frankie de Jong was offered to City, but City pulled out of the deal. I mean, a few days back, a journalist who's very good mentioned this as well. So, and it was in Manchester Evening News as well. City pulled out of the deal because Frankie de Jong's wages, the wages which Frankie de Jong was asking were too much. Frankie de Jong in 2019 was asking around £300,000. At that point of time, Kevin De Bruyne was paid £250,000. He was the highest. He had the highest wage in the club. So if City signed Frankie De Jong, then we would have had to break the wage structure, which means you would have had to increase the wages of people like Kevin De Bruyne, other people as well, who were sort of in that high wage bracket. So it would have just got the entire thing down. So that is why City didn't go back to Frankie de Jong then, and even now the wages will be the reason. I think City will not go for Frankie de Jong. You just analyze, guys. Why did City not go for certain players in the past? Alexis Sanchez. Why did City go for him? He was almost a free agent, right? Back then, when we were getting him wages, he wanted more wages at the last moment. Many examples of why City dropped out for certain players just due to wage demands. So that is why I really think that City will not go for Frankie de Jong. Erling Haaland, for example, Haaland could have demanded anything, right? £500,000 per week or something. No, he adjusted to the wage structure of Sterling, of City. So I do think that is the reason why we didn't go for De Jong in 2019, and why we will not go for De Jong now. And that one point for me proves that we are one of the most efficiently run clubs in the world. If a player asks for more wages, we just don't go for him. Vinay says Frankie De Jong wants that 17 million. That's why he doesn't wanna leave. Exactly, and he's saying this bullshit also, Vinay, that Barca is the best club in the world. I want to be with Barca, and I'm at the best club in the world and all. See, one of my friends who's a United fan was saying that he cheekily said that okay, even if Frankie De Jong stays at Barcelona, Barca will anyway drop in the Europa League after the group stages. So it's almost the same thing joining United or staying at Barca. So Frankie, I mean the truth is Barca is not the club once it was. Barca is not having that fluid kind of system where players are like, I will. It's magical playing there. It's not like that financial turmoil. You should not be surprised if Barca go bankrupt, for example, even right tomorrow midnight. You should not be surprised. Financial turmoil and stuff. Why, as a player, would you want to stay there? It has to be for that 17 million on money which Barca owe him. Vinay says Cancelo is right mid or winger. Exactly, Vinay. That's what we were discussing actually a while ago as well. That number seven, I think it's an indication. I know numbers don't mean anything in a Pep system. You give Haaland a number seven and sorry, Haaland a number one and give Haaland's number to Ederson. It wouldn't make difference to Pep. But I do think it indicates two things that Pep would want to use Cancelo in a more attacking role, and also Pep might. This for me indicates a change in formation as well. It could be a sign of a change in formation with the three at the back and Cancelo playing sort of that midfield role, sort of that winger role as well. But honestly, looking at Cancelo playing that winger role, guys, he would not make a bad winger at all. Cancelo would be a better winger than Raheem Sterling. If you, I mean, just if you just compare the attacking stats, the quality of finishing of Cancelo and Sterling, I think Cancelo is actually much better than Sterling. JSK says, I'm sure Xavi's obsession won't help the transfer until they pay 100 million, which is a fair price. They're saying 100 million, but the news is that maybe there'll be a compromise. There might be a compromise reached around 60-70 million, especially if Barca can convince the player to tell the club that I want to leave. See, one fine morning, if Bernardo comes and tells Pep that I want to leave, tells the club that I want to leave, then there's only so much you can do, right? With a player, it could be any player. The club is always greater than the player. So, unhappy players, we don't have an history of keeping them. So that is the weapon which Barca are using. See, Leeds United Chelsea for Rafinha is a big example of that. Leeds accepted Chelsea's bid, Barca bid less, but Rafinha told Leeds that I want to go to Barca. This is the weapon Barca are using. See, they don't have any financial this thing, they don't have money, but they're using the players, they're using their cloud, they're using their pull to convince players to come to Barca. They're actually convincing players on a false premise. I think the players here, I feel a bit pity for them because the players here are being sold a false dream to come to Barca. There's this nothing there. It's not the 08 or 212 Barca that Pep Guardiola was managing. I think when Bernardo Silva tells Pep that I want to leave, go to Barca and all, I think Pep will sit down with him and Pep will explain him. This is what Barca was under Johan Cruyff when I played. This is what Barca was when I was managing them. But right now, it's just a load of shit there. They're just selling you false promises and stuff. And you are here at Manchester City, which is one of the best clubs in the world right now, and our ambitions are much more higher, way higher. So you want to stay here or go there. And also the thing is, if Bernardo goes, yes, he's allowed by the fans. We get Jude Bellingham. So that's what Pep will also tell Bernardo if the situation goes out of hand. He says, "You're going. It doesn't mean that we stop here. You go with your transfer money. We are going to get Jude Bellingham there. We might potentially have a player who's younger with a higher ceiling than you. So it's up to you to decide where do you want to go into financial turmoil where there's no guarantee of your wages as well. Why do you want to sacrifice your the financial stability in your career for sort of a thing? So if I am Bernardo and I listen to that sort of a conversation, I'm like, hell, wait, why do I want to get myself into the mud? Why? I'll better stay here at the best club in the world, at the best coach, the best finances, the best management team. Everything is the best, right? Best facilities at City. Vinay says Silva enjoys at City. Why he wants to downgrade his career and start his journey again? Exactly, Vinay. Exactly. It's just a false dream sold by Barca, and that's it. JSK says only Erling Haaland is the one is not unaffected by this pull. He's a true blue. I'm saying he will stay at City forever like Foden. Alvarez is the one who will move to Barcelona or Real Madrid. The best thing would be JSK for both Alvarez and Haaland to stay for as long as they can actually. Foden, Alvarez and Haaland. Just imagine that trio if they retire at City. I mean Foden will for sure, but the other two as well, Haaland and Alvarez. Imagine if they retire at City, how will it be? Having their statues as well and then in front of the City stadium. That would just be fantastic. The deadliest duos. You just see the finishing of Alvarez, for example, in the training videos. It's just wonderful. It's just superb. Vinicius and about Neymar Jr. We knew Pep would not imbalance our already balanced squad. Yes, Vinay, but there's that little sense of fear. I had that 1-2% of fear that okay, everything is going fine, but what if 1% we get Neymar? What would it do? Just like last season, I had that fear when we were heavily linked with Cristiano Ronaldo. What if we get Ronaldo? It would just imbalance our squad. See, and it happened as well. It imbalanced United squad. Many United fans will not agree. I mean, because Ronaldo scored 18 goals, but if Ronaldo did not come, Solskjaer would not have been sacked. He was preparing a team which was a counter-attacking team, and Ronaldo came. He had to adjust and all of that. The same would have happened at City in a little different kind of a way. We would have had to adapt our style to Ronaldo, and I think Pep would have left if we would have got Ronaldo, seeing how we have had to change our style of play actually. Vinicius Haaland seems humble and calm. He seems humble and calm, and he seems ruthless. He seems lethal. Just even Alvarez seems the same. I mean, seeing Haaland especially, it reminds me of a silent assassin. Someone who's like, okay, well, mate, I'll show you on the ground. I'll show you in the field what I can do. One chance, boom. Just seems like a silent assassin. Vinay says back three looks like a real thing now. Does this formation improve our defense? I think the problem is not with the defense, Vinay. The problem actually is with facing certain shapes. I don't think we'll play back three in all of the games, but I'm sure we'll play back three in that Spurs game because the way Spurs play, see how we were defeated by Spurs this season. Kulusevski and Son high and wide, right? If we play the normal back four against them, how do you defend? There'll always be spaces out wide where Son and Kulchaski can run into. So I think the back three is to win those matches. You never know. Spurs could turn out be a title contender this season. And just like with Liverpool, the matches with Spurs could come out to be those knockout games, those title showdowns. So in that match, I think in those kind of matchups, Pep really wants assurity, I think. See, it's a simple reason again, even statistics prove that. Why have Liverpool lost out on the title? Liverpool have lost less matches than us, right? We've lost way more matches than Liverpool. But why? If you see Liverpool's record against the top four, they have not won against any team in the top four. All draws, any team, but we lost with Spurs, but we won with Chelsea twice. That was the tipping point in the title race. So Pep knows that it is playing against these top four teams where titles can be decided, have been decided in the last few years, and that's why he wants that assurity, I think. And Pau Torres is also interesting because he's a very good centre back. Is good on the ball and is very good aerially, and it's just 40 million pounds. I'm not understanding why other teams are not going for Pau Torres. But on another hand, do you think Pau Torres improves our defense? Because Pau Torres for me is another Aymeric Laporte. Nothing much to separate them. Both almost do the same things, right? So instead of a Pau Torres, maybe I would have gone for a Guardiol. I know the deal is not easy with Leipzig and all, but I think Guardiol for the future. See, Pau Torres is 25 something, right? Guardiol is what, 20, around about 19, 20, right? So I think you spend an extra 40 million on Guardiol and it balances out to be the same. He'll be giving you another 4-5 years at the club, the fag end of the career than Pau Torres. So I'm surprised that we're not going for Guardiol, but honestly, I would not want Pau Torres actually. because simply because he doesn't improve us. JSK says, and I don't understand why the players want to move to Barcelona. They don't respect anyone, even their legends. Example: Iniesta, Messi. I think it's the pull and nothing else. We think that football players are actually very intelligent, but actually they're not that smart as well. Generally, I can't generalize this, but most of them, I think football players still sometimes they live in the past of this aura of what the legendary Barcelona teams have done. And they're not looking at the present, I think, and that is one of the reasons why. Rafinha is a simple example. If you are Rafinha, why do you want to leave the Premier League? Right now, it is the best league in the world. All of the best managers are there in the world. Everything is the best about the Premier League. Why do you want to go to La Liga, which apart from Real Madrid, most of the teams are crap. Most of the teams are suffering from financial turmoil. Real Madrid is also on the verge of suffering from a bit of a financial turmoil. That's why Florentino Perez wanted the breakaway league. And also, as a Rafinha, for example, why did you want to leave the Premier League? I can't understand this. Why did you want to Chelsea, for example, Champions League winner? When was the last time Barcelona won the Champions League, and when was the last time Chelsea won the Champions League? Under Tuchel. So Rafinha is a prime example. I didn't understand it. It's just the pull. I have to think. JSK. They don't respect the legends and everyone. It's just the pull and nothing else. When I say I hope Barca falls into Europe again. Players are ditching or disrespecting club to join Barca. Reality is Barca is nothing without Messi. I think the real Barca was gone maybe when Luis Enrique left. That's all. Barca is just stagnating year on from the 2015 season. I think for the last 6 7 years, Barca is just stagnated. And I really Xavi might do something, but I really expect Barca to go even more down. The reason is the quality of the league. The quality of La Liga is just declining. I do think sometimes the quality of the Bundesliga, for example, is better than La Liga. The quality of a championship, for example, sometimes is better than La Liga right now. Right now, I can have an argument with everyone. In terms of the competitiveness, okay, Madrid might have won the Champions League and all of that. In terms of the sheer competitiveness, so as a result, I do think it's a league where players themselves will be stagnated, right? Why PSG is a prime example. I mean, what is wrong with the French league? Why are PSG unable to compete in the Champions League? Stagnation due to non-competitiveness. And it's not just the players, I think managers as well. Managers as well stagnate in that kind of a league. It's not just about Barca, I think it's about whole of the La Liga. I think it's just drifting into that stagnation kind of a thing. And I don't expect in the next 3 4 years La Liga teams, maybe Madrid might win it, Barca might win the Champions League, but that doesn't mean, see, if with a bit of luck you can win the Champions League, but that doesn't mean that your league is good, right? Your league is going through a phase where it is, again reconstructing that cycle, which Premier League went through in the early 2010s and stuff like that, when Chelsea were rebuilding, when Liverpool were rebuilding, United were rebuilding, and stuff like that. So I think it's a warning sign, especially if you're a player. You'll have to look at what is the future of La Liga, where am I going, what is the future of the team. Everything looks very very dull to me. Football Cricket says City may have something in plan. We may be going for Nkunku, Bellingham, or Barella. I know it's not linked, but you never know. City usually do that out of the box signing, and City do it very quickly. Football Cricks, those out of the box signings. Bellingham, again, Football Cricks. I think that Bellingham might be difficult because next season Liverpool will come for Bellingham. It will be a showdown between Liverpool and us. I don't expect Madrid to come because they've got Camavinga and they've also got that Shuamini, so there's no space for Bellingham over there. Bellingham is not a replacement for Casemiro, for example. Maybe if Barca sell Frankie De Jong, I don't know. Again, maybe Barca come for Bernardo and we go for Bellingham. But the problem with Bellingham is Liverpool can promise Bellingham a lot of playing time. Liverpool have that particular spot which is vacant. By Jordan Henderson will be 32, 33 next season. Thiago is already 31, 32. There's only Fabinho in the midfield. Wijnaldum not replaced. So it's the promise of the playing time, I think, and Klopp's relationship with Dortmund, and playing time. Playing time will be the key for Bellingham. But on our side again, Foden. Haaland, that kind of a connection, Haaland Dortmund connection, Foden English connection, Calvin Phillips will be another English connection, John Stones, so Pep Guardiola. I mean, Bellingham deal will be very interesting, but playing time might be key. It all again depends on what Bernardo Silva actually wants to do, I think. Uh, and the next and another thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is this next pen table. I'll just put a put a link to this enlarged image. But the key thing here is in the last 5 seasons, right? Last half a decade. You know what? Opposition fans tell us that you have spent more than £500 million and something, and that is why you have achieved all of this success and all. Just show them this. Our net spend in the last 5 years is minus £100 million. In fact, we have gained a profit of £100 million on player sales over the last 5 years. So that is how efficiently this club is run. So, like we were discussing, we have become a club that is becoming more sustainable actually with spending money that we have only got by selling players. Uh, Roshan says, no UCL. Roshan says, Messi one Ballon d'Or equal to whole Man City history. JSK says, well, they don't know. We have the person who have made uh, JSK says, well, they don't know. We have the persons who have made them the Barcelona. We know how Pep and Tixiki, their pull is futile towards us. Only our bench players, the Torres, get affected by their pull. Exactly. Not Fernando Torres, obviously, Ferran Torres and all. And like I told you in last time, I think, right, we were discussing about this, how Laporta said in a private meeting that City have sold us this shit Ferran Torres who's not able to score goals. So the thing is, they're not able to even utilize the players. Ferran Torres, before leaving us, scored a hat trick, right, in a Champions League game, and now Barca don't know how to use him as well. And I know where Roshan is hurting, but that is true. Roshan will have to accept that La Liga is just going down into a ditch now. La Liga is stagnating, and it is nothing. It's the Premier League. Every weekend there is excitement in the Premier League with the managers there and all of these things. Uh, Vinay says, my only concern is defense. What tactics have to be applied? I think Vinay in the defense, I think without the ball we go with a 4-4-2 shape, and I think there's not much to be worried this season about defense, especially because John Stones seems. I think John Stones actually he seems fit actually, and Laporte and Ruben Diaz also. Ruben Diaz also seems fit, and the thing is we defend from the front and we attack from the back. So I think a defensive failure would mean that we have not been good at pressing and all of those things. And I don't think defense will be an issue this season. I mean, defense was an issue last season, guys, and the seasons before, whenever it was an issue, because we didn't score enough goals. The reason I'm telling defense will not be an issue, because I think this season, I don't want to be arrogant, but I think we'll outscore any of the opposition this season. Even if the defense is a bit fragile, I think if the opposition scored 3, we scored 4 with Haaland and Alvarez there. See, last 10 minutes or 5 minutes remaining, we are trailing the opposition by 3 goals. What do? Set up De Bruyne, set up Haaland, set up Mahrez, Cucurella, Cancelo. Tell them to pump balls into the box, crosses into the box. It is not like the last years that crosses into the box will not be effective because we have little players. Haaland, Alvarez, the heading ability is there. So I'm not that worried about the defense because I think we can outscore anyone. And honestly, I think the fitness of John Stones will be very important this season because whenever Stones has been part of that defense, Stones Diaz, Stones Laporte, we have looked more solid, and it somehow seemed that we have had more options to pass out from the back. Actually, I mean, whenever Stones played, it seemed as if that those passing lanes suddenly became more pronounced than when Diaz was playing. So I don't think defense will be such a problem, and the tactics will be, I think, a 4-4-2 without the ball, and it will be three at the back against the Spurs. Against Spurs, JSK says, yeah, and Messi's right foot, whole Real Madrid. Yes, maybe he can send him some highlights of how Messi defeated them in the Clásicos previously. Uh, JSK says today he turned from Madrid to Barcelona fan, and, and tomorrow he might turn into an Atletico Madrid fan. You don't know. And he's saying he's a La Liga fan and all. I mean, there's no basis to defend La Liga. Actually, there's no basis. It's Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. The top class managers, everything is top class here. La Liga comes nothing to be competitive. In the Premier League, we enjoy watching matches between the lower teams as well. All of the matches are exciting. How many matches do you watch in La Liga apart from the matches between matches of Madrid and Barcelona? I mean, I guess you don't watch many matches. Watching La Liga right now is almost like watching the French league. Watching the French league might be exciting with Neymar bringing some entertainment. Actually, I would prefer watching the French league than watching the La Liga right now. Vinay says fans who don't turn up versus Frankfurt and getting beaten by Benfica. I mean, you can't argue against the shit of Barcelona and the shit of La Liga, actually. And La Liga president, right? We have to talk about the La Liga president, Javier Tebas, or someone. He was fuming on the Premier League that how City can spend so much money. We have to be booked with financial fair play and all of that. Show him this net spend table, guys. Show him this net spend table. £100 million profit actually in the last 5 years, not spending, not £500 million spent as many claim in the last 5 years. Show him this table, then he will know. uh, Gunda says, haha, bro, respect everybody. Exactly. Maybe Barca fans, not everybody. Again, they're forgetting that right now. Uh, Gaurav says, Roshan, just give some competition to Real Madrid in your league and bark. Just make your league exciting, Roshan. That's all. JSK says, actually, this guy is one of the one who has been triggered by a YouTuber named Rock Baba, who showed the reality of La Liga. Since then, he has been trolling everyone since then. It is clearly visible, JSK, in all of his comments. He has been trolling everyone, and he's losing sleep. He's losing shit over it. He can never in 100 years prove that La Liga is better than Premier League right now. It's almost impossible with the kind of fast-paced football. La Liga, what happens? You just put on a match and see a little bit of a physicality, and the referee just blows. It's almost like you just want to drop your phone and say, what the shit is this? You don't even have a counter attack to go. What sort of a refereeing is this? And you see the Premier League, the physicality is allowed. It is fast paced. It is something else. Now, for a fan who wants to just think that La Liga is the best thing, for the fan who's just deluded, I can't say anything. I mean, it is pointless to argue with the person who's deluded, right? It's just a waste of our time more than anything else. Gunda says history should be respected by everyone. Present should be looked. JSK says actually this we have done that. Vinay says the rate of JSK, thanks for that. We don't want to reply to clowns. Exactly, it's just a waste of our time. That's all. Gunda says so. Never get Ballon d'Or. Gunda says I watched 38 games. So Villarreal beat United. Even United beat Villarreal also in the Champions League group stage. Go and watch that as well. I shit United, who can't even defeat a Burnley. Gaurav says even they don't know the name of other clubs other than 4 5 clubs exactly. They don't know who's fighting relegation and everything. And the beauty of our league is we even know the name of the clubs who play in the championship. Sometimes we watch the championship playoffs, and championship matches are exciting as well. The League One matches are exciting here in the which is two divisions below the Champions League. Everyone. Suman says, Glora FC fans here. Wow, Suman, that's a great comment actually. Glora FC fans who were just self trumpeting themselves. Uh, Vinay, and so actually Sumant also says Girona FC fans here. I read the comment wrong, but it's actually the perfect thing, which is a reply to all of the Barca fans was just self knitting here. And Suman says right, Girona FC fans. You remember guys, a few years back, I think Girona was playing in the top tier of the Spanish league, and some of the city players like Pedro Porro was there, and all of the Douglas Luiz was there. All of them were there, and we watched those matches. See the dedication of what we do, and Barca fans, those La Liga fans, I don't know what they do. They say that he watches 38 matches. Vinay says Ralph Biasness is real for Spanish teams. Gaurav says he is run away now after humiliation. It's more than humiliation, Gaurav. It's more than humiliation. It's almost that you have made him stand naked. Actually, it's more than humiliation. What will we do? Uh, Gaurav says, do collab with other Indian YouTubers, bro, or foreign one. Exactly, Gaurav. At the end of this month, I'm planning a collab. Actually, you'll have it in front of you. I'm working on it. JSK says for collab talk with Ankit from Almighty Blue FC. He's looking for City fans collab. Almighty Blue FC. I'll actually note that JSK Ankit from all. Yes. I'll just note that JSK, and it will be interesting. Collaborating with Chelsea fans as well. I wanted to know how they view this Sterling transfer, for example, and how do they view this transfer window with so much of the pull from Barca? That would be an interesting collab. Collaboration. Countania is here. He says any ISL fans here. There will be, I think, Countania, but I'm like, I see a few matches of Mumbai City FC. This is something very interesting from Sam Lee. Actually, Sam Lee today in the Athletic has said that, it's a very interesting comment. He said that he believes there is a culture in place now. Pep believes that there's a culture in place now, and many young players coming through at City like Romeo Lavia and Gavin Bazunu will be desperate to go back. Very interesting comment from article from Sam Lee, actually stating the sort of mindset that people in the club have now. We are now not in a mindset that, okay, if a young player will leave, he will permanently go. It's that sort of a relationship that the club has built with the academy players. That's something which is, I think, which is very important to counter this pull of these elite clubs, your Bayerns, your Barca, your Madrid. Once upon a time, it was Juventus, and some clubs in England as well. Once upon a time, it was United. So I think this is interesting. This is also interesting uh, because this justifies why Pep was bought in at the club. People say, just like when someone said, just like Roshan, for example, said that no UCL and all. Many people say that UCL is Pep is a failure at City because he didn't bring UCL. And this statement coming out from Sam Lee about the mindset inside the club tells you that it was never about winning a Champions League or never or winning a Premier League with the Pep Guardiola. Trophies are important, but trophies were secondary. The important thing is, instilling a sort of culture at the club, a culture through the grassroots, a culture that makes you feel that you belong in the club, a culture that makes you feel that the club is there, the club look after you, the club are interested in your development, whether that means that you make your career at City or you make your career elsewhere. The club really wants you to grow. It is this sense of belongingness with the club that really was the reason why Pep was bought into the club. So it is not for winning the Champions League, and trophies, for me, trophies are always a byproduct of the culture, are always a byproduct of the values that you instill in the club, because when your foundations are shaken, that city will go through a bad phase at some point of the time. That is a cycle of football. It's not that we'll just keep winning for the next century, right? But when you go through the bad phases, what do you identify yourself with? How do you prevent yourself from collapsing? Just like an AC Milan did, for example, or an Inter Milan did, for example, after those glorious years, or like a Barca is doing. How do you hold on to your foundations? The values and the culture is important, and I think Pep has actually instilled that in the club, and we are winning trophies because it is a byproduct of that culture instilled. Mancini, what would have happened if you had given 100 million or a 200-300 million pound budget to Mancini? He might have won the Champions League. You do not know. Same thing with Pellegrini, right? He was already winning the Premier League. He was going through the Champions League, for example, semi-final of the Champions League. You give him another 200-300 million, he would have won you the Champions League. But under both those managers, you somehow didn't feel that sense of belongingness, especially even as a fan looking at it in terms of the academy players there. Okay, a player will leave, but you never felt that he will come back. You never felt that the club had an identity to look at. And under Pep, all that is there. So I actually do think that this is I think this has to be marked as one of the greatest successes of Pep, over and under of winning all the trophies, right? We give so much importance to the trophies that we forget the things that are responsible for the winning of the trophies. And so, and it was an interesting statement from Sam Lee, and I just wanted to dig in with that. Sumant says Hyderabad FC. Sumant, Akash Mishra fans here. Wow. JSK, yeah, collaboration is the one that will help to grow your channel. It's very difficult to grow with individual content, especially when you stick to one club. Yes, JSK, yes, I'll do that. The plan actually was to wait till the end of this month, maybe, and then collab, because then the transfer window will be much clearer, and you'll have a clear view on the incomings and stuff actually. So that was my plan. Gaurav says I'm a Chennai FC fan. JSK says, by the way, can you speak Hindi? Yes, JSK, I speak Hindi, but I can't speak as fluently like I'm speaking now. So, but I do speak Hindi. I understand Hindi. Vinay says FC Goa. So we have a wide, diverse bunch of ISL fans here. Vinay says the rate of JSK. If he knew Hindi, could have been easy to collab with Baba Mohak, Macaroni, Divyansh. I mean, again, yes, I can speak Hindi, but not as fluently. Like it's almost like you'll see that I'm searching for a bit of words and stuff like that. Not like I'm speaking now. Uh, Gaurav says after Zinni departure, who will wear number 11? I do not. It's a difficult question to answer, because are we actually replacing Zinchenko this season? That is the biggest question. First of all, because Cucurella will come, but I do think that Cucurella is a Benjamin Mendy replacement. He's not a Zinchenko replacement. So I do think we'll have to wait for another year. I mean, next season or stuff actually, to wait and see who is the Zinchenko replacement actually. Gaurav says, where do you live, bro? Shival says, where are you from? Uh, I'm from Hyderabad. I'm from Hyderabad in India. Yes. Gaurav says I'm from Nepal. Wow, Gaurav, that is very good. So, and another thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is about Stephen Ortega. This is another interesting thing for me. I mean, why did Stephen Ortega choose us? The discussion starts from there. Because Stephen Ortega was one of the standout performers in Bundesliga, and Bundesliga, as you know, has always been a league which is known for its goalkeeping talent, right? Bundesliga is very competitive in terms of goalkeepers, and Stefan Ortega has stood out in that competition, which really tells you something about him. And the second piece of the puzzle for me about Ortega is he has been offered better financial packages elsewhere. He has been offered the number one position at other clubs. starting day in and day out in all of the cup competitions. Why refuse all of those things, and why come to City where you might not start in a Premier League and Champions League, where you might not start 60-70% of the matches? Why it's a big question for me. I somehow uh, I somehow not able to answer that. But if I think if you think deeply about that, maybe do you think that has Pep realized that winning the cup competitions requires a keeper with a certain profile? Has Pep looked at that Real Madrid tie in particular and thought that maybe the first goal from Karim Benzema, maybe one of the, I mean, the first goal of Madrid in the second leg where Ederson doesn't come out for the ball and Rodrigo taps in an open goal almost. Has Pep looked at those incidences and has he thought that maybe a goalkeeper with a better shot stopping ability and also who's good with the feet, would he have helped me overcome that demons of the Champions League semi-final? I think Pep here is looking at a certain profile of a keeper for knockout competitions. I think that is sure. I would not be surprised if this season maybe Ederson, Ederson plays in the Premier League and Stefan Ortega plays all of the cup competitions, including the Champions League. Because guys, you see his distribution is not bad at all. Okay, he might not have the accuracy of Ederson in finding the passes, but under pressure he can distribute very well. They say his distribution is almost close to Neuer. See, if you have the shot stopping abilities of Manuel Neuer with his distribution, I mean, Neuer's distribution is nowhere near Ederson, but it is good enough to play in a Pep Guardiola team. I think you bring Stefan Ortega in a Champions League match actually. That has to be the case. Some promises would have had to be made, I think, with Stefan Ortega. Otherwise, why would Stefan Ortega choose us with a less financial package and with no guarantees of being a number one? There has to be something. JSK says, I'm from Noida. JSK says, I think Stefan should start all the USL games instead of Ederson. His shot stopping is even better than De Gea. It's almost close to Manuel Neuer, JSK. Manuel Neuer in his prime, I'm saying. Not now. Now he has declined a bit. And not just shot stopping, his reactions. His reactions are just wow. Sometimes, we question Ederson's positioning, but this guy's positioning, at least in all of the clips, little bit of clips I've seen, his positioning at the far post, at the near post, and one on ones, I think Ortega is. I mean, people might not agree with this. They would still think maybe De Gea is the best in one-on-ones in the Premier League and all. But I think Ortega is better than De Gea as well. He's better than Alisson as well in shot stopping and one-on-ones. I think that should be a big thing because Alisson is considered to be the best in terms of shot stopping and Ederson playing out from the back. And Ortega brings you, I think, the best of both the worlds. He has the shot stopping abilities of an Alisson, of a Manuel Neuer, and De Gea and stuff. And he has the ball playing abilities of an Ederson, again of a Neuer, and all of those things. I do think Pep should take the leap and Pep should get Ortega to start the cup competitions. Gaurav says, I think everyone in City management have looked at Ederson shot stopping issues, especially after the Real Madrid game, and also especially after what Courtois has done in the semi-final as well. In the semi-final, why did we lose? Okay, the goals went in, but before that, two big incidences happened. Jack Grealish, one-on-one, I think. One was cleared off the line, and the second one, Courtois tipped it around the post. So and the Champions League final, what happened? Why did Madrid win? They were crap actually in the Champions League final. Like in all of the games, they were Champions League games this season. They were crap. But Courtois saved them with shot stopping. I mean, looking at and also FA Cup, we lost against Liverpool. Why did we lose against Liverpool? Jack Steffen was not good in the shot stopping. Carabao Cup, we went out in the penalty shootouts. I know, but again, Steffen was not good enough there as well. And by the way, Ortega is a good penalty stopper as well. I think so. Looking at all of these cup competitions that happened last season, there is one common thing that emerges one reason why we didn't get through in each of them, and that is shot stopping by sloppy shot stopping by the goalkeeper. And also another thing, people say that you can't teach stopping penalties and all, but tell this to Willy Caballero. tell this to Tim Krul, for example. There are some keepers who just Claudio Bravo, for example. Claudio Bravo, whenever he faced the penalty, how many penalties has Claudio Bravo saved for us when he played in the Carabao Cup and stuff all those years ago? Many shootouts, right? So don't agree with the fact that penalty is a 50-50 lucky thing. It might be a lucky thing for the striker who's striking, but for a goalkeeper, I think having having a good penalty stopping ability is important, and it's just like strikers, just like you can't teach a Raheem Sterling finishing. Strikers have that finishing instinct. Goalkeepers also, penalty shootouts, you can't teach that in practice. You have that penalty stopping ability or not. So Ortega is a very good penalty stopper, and in the Champions League and knockout tournaments, penalty stopping ability is also key. For example, Benzema scored that penalty. I know it was unstoppable, but maybe a good penalty keeper would have put pressure on the attacker more than anything else. That would make the attacker miss time the penalty. So Ortega ticks a lot of boxes for me actually. Gaurav says, I think with the chances we face throughout the game, we should get clean sheet in 95% games. But we will get a clean sheet in 95% games, Gaurav. But the thing is, in the 5% games which we don't get a clean sheet, the thing is, it will be in high profile games. It will be in the Champions League knockouts where Lewandowski will be playing, where all of the top strikers will be, Benzema will be playing, top strikers will be playing. So they just need one chance. Benzema's first goal in the first leg against Madrid had an XG of 0.2. So you can literally imagine. So those 5% of the games can decide how your season ends actually. Look at Liverpool. What did Liverpool end up with? An FA Cup and a Carabao Cup, and both of those games also they just won on the penalties. So it's almost like a draw in the final, like not scoring goals. So and where did they lose out in those big games, right? You bring in a Haaland, you bring in Alvarez for those big games, for those millimeter moments. 2018-19, we won the Premier League because of that millimeter moment. Stones cleared it off the line. So those moments matter the most. Tipping it over the bar can be the difference between winning a Champions League and losing out at the last moment. So I think Stefan Ortega is what Pep has looked at, and I think that is the next step for us in our progression to be a dominant power both in Europe and also in the Premier League. Uh, JSK says Allison is overrated. He often panics and makes mistakes in important moments. If he didn't play in Liverpool, he would have been second choice goalkeeper of Brazil. The only reason why he's the first choice goalkeeper in Brazil is I think shot stopping. He I mean with Allison the thing is when especially when Allison comes out to clear the ball and stuff like that, or to clear across, I've seen that is the weak point of Allison. He really panics in those scenarios, and the playing out from the back of Allison is also not as good. They're actually better keepers than Allison in the Premier League itself, who can play out from the back better. But one thing where Allison excels is one-on-ones. In one-on-ones, I think Allison is very deadly. I think it's because of his imposing frame or whatever. I think one-on-ones is where Allison really does well, and that actually covers up all of his mistakes because you flap it across, right, and you misjudge it. Opposition scores a goal. It's not just the blame of a goalkeeper. You blame a defender for not marking well and all of that. But in a one-on-one situation, goalkeeper saves you. You're almost grateful to him, right? It's almost like you scored a goal. So that is where Allison just he just rescues himself in that situation, that he saves one-on-ones more. JSK says Emiliano Martinez is best at short stopping penalties in the Premier League. Yes, Emiliano Martinez. He plays for Aston Villa, right? He's very good. Even at Arsenal, he was very good actually. That Arsenal goalkeeper also he does good shot stopping. I'm not able to remember. It's Ramsdale. Ramsdale is also actually good at shot stopping. I think Jose Sa as well. I think is good at shot stopping. But you're right. Penalty stopping. But is Emiliano Martinez good at stopping penalties? I don't know, because I thought Tim Krul was the best, at least until Norwich was there. I think Tim Krul plays for Norwich. Gaurav says, I think the best team not to win the Champions League will be the City squad if we don't win this season. I think that's where Pep is actually going all out with bringing in this goalkeeper, bringing in Alvarez, letting go of Sterling, letting go of Gabriel Jesus. So I think Pep is just refining the squad. Pep has realized that the squad needs fine tuning. He has realized that where am I missing out on the Champions League because I have a really really good squad, but why am I still missing out? It's those small moments, Raheem Sterling missing an open goal. They add up to a lot in the Champions League actually, lot than you can imagine. Football Crick says. Kaiki lacks finishing. I saw him in a training video. But actually, football tricks, Kaiki is, I don't know, maybe in the training he didn't finish well, but generally, they say that his finishing is actually deadly. Kaiki's finishing is deadly, actually. But I don't know why he didn't finish well. Might be nerves or might be something nerves because Pep might have told him he'll start tomorrow's game and things like that. I don't know, uh, but I actually rate highly in terms of finishing Kaiki. Uh, Football Critics City were linked with Ramsdale as successor of Ederson, but I don't rate Ramsdale in terms of playing out from the back. Football Critics Ramsdale, even if you watch the Arsenal matches, Ramsdale is actually a bit crap in playing out from the back. He panics. I think if you're talking about the successor to Ederson, I think it would take a lot to actually replace Ederson. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 3 4 years, Ederson would be in the top three list of the Ballon d'Ors if he improves his shot stopping. I hope he improves it due to the competition from Stephen Ortega because we have not seen a keeper like Ederson in the last, I mean, 30, 40, 50 years, however, when from football was being played. So I do think that Ederson has a genuine chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. It's just that he needs to improve his shot stopping. Jessica says, now Bazuno is the one who will be the successor of Ederson. He has a buyback clause too. Exactly right. It's a buyback clause of what? 14 million pounds. We just sold him recently as well, Kevin Bazuno. But is Bazuno good at playing out from the back, JSK? I'm not sure about that thing. See, that's why it's rare. You have goalkeepers who are good at shot stopping, and you have goalkeepers who are good at playing out from the back. Playing out from the back is there rare, but the combination is something which is actually very rare to find. I think the only way we can find such a combination is maybe if we produce someone in the academy like that. Aro Murik is one who I thought might be might be the one who has that combination, but I don't know. I don't know actually. Football Crick says what it seems to be James Trafford is a successor of Ederson. Yeah, just like I mean, Aaron Muric was actually said that he could break into City's first team. Now James Trafford. I think as we move on, what we will see is our scouts getting much better in scouting young players who have those attributes. I think the academy system, the academy system till now, at least till Pep came, was about goalkeepers in the mold of Joe Hart, for example. But right now, the academy system is more towards goalkeepers playing out from the back. So I think at least in the next 3 4 years, just like we found a Cole Palmer, a James McAtee, players of the Oscar Bob, players of that profile, we will actually find. A goalkeeper like that as well who is coming out with the qualities, and I think he will be the successor to Ederson. Vinay says, is this game telecasted on Sony 10? Yes, Vinay, it's telecasted on Sony 10 and it's also available on Sony Live. It's streamed live on the Sony Live app, and also it's there on the Geo TV. That's what I've read regarding the places where the game is telecasted in India. Football Fixes City only extends contract when they which they will feel succeed, and he extended his contract. Generally that is the case, but it might not always be the case, right? Always City cannot be right. Sometimes there have been players in the past that City have extended the contract and it has not worked out for them. worked out for them better. I don't. There's one winger as well who is had with that problem. He's gone to Borussia Dortmund actually this season. It's not Sam Edozie. Sam Edozie went to Bayer Leverkusen. Even it was the same with him as well. I don't remember his name, but he joined Dortmund this season. City extended his contract, thinking he will be good, but it didn't work out for him. But it's a good point because generally 90% of the time, 80% of the time, if we extend the contract of someone, then it actually is that there is some potential that the club actually sees in that player. There's some potential that Pep sees that he can maybe break into the team. So that is actually a good starting point. But then I think we'll have to wait again 3 4 years for this academy to actually click into the gear. And by the way, what players do you guys expect to see in the preseason match tomorrow? Who are the players to watch out for? Actually, if you actually ask me, I would say Oscar Bob. It's not McAtee, it's not Palmer because we know about them. McAtee, Palmer, one report states that more than half of the teams in the Premier League and more than half of the teams in the Championship want to sign James McAtee. So that is the interest. So we know about McAtee, we know about Palmer, but I think the player to watch out for in this season, preseason, will be Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob, they say that he passes like he's technically he glides in those small spaces. So Oscar Bob could actually be the real successor of maybe a David Silva or even a Kevin De Bruyne. We don't know, but they say that technically he is so good. Technically, Oscar Bob has been the orchestrator in the City midfield this season in the under 19s, under 23s elite squad. So for me, it's Oscar Bob who will be the player to watch out for. Gaurav says your favorite player now and in the City history. My favorite player in the City history is David Silva. I just love him to bits. The way he just he's just a magician. The way he's one step ahead in his mind. It's impossible to mark. Defenders say that he's almost a shadow. You can never find him. He's always moving. So his movement, his I mean the thing which I like the most about David Silva is the way he plays the game inside his head faster than all of the players around him, all of the opponent players around him. Fantastic, David Silva. Football Kick says that left back from academy, Wilson Esbrand, right? Yes, I think Wilson Esbrand, he started in the FA Cup match as well, right? Against Swindon Town. He started in the FA Cup match when half of the team was out, right? Wilson Esbrand and Egan Riley started those matches. But Wilson Esbrand, for me, defensively, actually he plays one twos very well, but I do not know whether attacking wise he's good enough to get into the pep into our current team. He's good enough to break into the first team. I do not know, and we do not know why Pep is not buying a replacement for a Zinchenko, for example, because we are only going to get Cucurella this season, and the reason might be that maybe he sees George Wilson Esperant as someone who's a Zinchenko type of player, but who is naturally left-footed and who can go both ways and stuff like that. That might be another reason we do not know. Gaurav says Luka MBT. Sai Kiran is here. He says, y'all, hey Sai Kiran, how are you? Gaurav, Luka MBT is interesting actually. I didn't actually rate Luka MBT that highly because I don't know. I don't think Luka MBT is that sort of a profile of a player which we went for in the past as well. Tosin Edarabioyo, for example, is a player who's similar in terms of the physicality, in terms of the ball playing ability to Luka MBT. And I always thought that Tosin and Rabiot had better ball playing ability than Luka MBT. So I think MBT will find it tough. But again, it all depends on how the preseason goes for him, and with the rumors of RK wanting to leave and stuff, I mean, not this season, maybe next season, the rumors might return back again. I think if Luka MBT does well in this preseason, you never know. He might have a chance to get in. But with Luka MBT, I've always thought that maybe he lacks that little bit special in terms of playing out from the back. especially in terms of finding those passing lanes. Because as a defender in a PAP system, defending is not your primary job. It's all about being that one step ahead of the game, taking risks. Going into the midfield, for example, all of the finding that passing lanes, all of those things. I don't think Luka Mbiti is ready as of now. Football tricks is like Messi left his mark on Barca players similar way David Silva did the same. And David Silva did more than leaving a mark. He actually defined an era of City, right? And also I rate David Silva very highly here, much more highly than Messi, right? Because Messi was at the Barca Academy, La Masia from a young age, and he was developed. He broke into the first team, right? But you guys remember in the transfer window when David Silva and Yaya Toure came in the transfer window, we first went for Kaka, and Kaka at the last moment he refused to come, right? So where a Kaka didn't believe, where all of the other players, top players at the time didn't believe, a David Silva believed. A David Silva believed in this project. A David Silva believed in this project when we were nobody in the Premier League as well. David Silva had Barcelona calling over there, and yet David Silva chose to come to us. I mean, that one thing is enough for me, that he chose to come to us, chose to believe in us over all of the other things, that options that he had. That one thing is enough for me to say that David Silva is he's just having a special position for me in my heart. So David Silva has more than redefined an era, that decade of 2010 to 2019-20, right? David Silva was something else. He'll be he's just one of the best players the club has ever seen. For me, even the best player the club has ever seen. When I says Wilson Esperant as left back, he played versus Swindon Town, I guess. Pep may use him this season. Exactly, he played against Swindon Town, and one of the striking things about Wilson Esperant for me is the way he cut inside. Actually, the speed of his one twos. I thought defensively maybe he was a bit lacking in terms of positional awareness and stuff, but those one twos were very good. That one twos, the timing of the runs, when to get into the box. I think Wilson Esperant played almost like a perfect inverted Pep Guardiola fullback. So I think we should not be surprised if Wilson Esperant actually comes. Pep uses him this season. Gaurav says, "Tell us the story or moment how you started supporting City." I'll make a separate video, Gaurav, about that. Actually, it will take a bit more time. To take a lot of time, but I'll make a separate video on it. Football tricks is I'm looking forward at Liam Delap club friendlies. He will start the game. Liam Delap is again, with the amount of strikers we have, uh, Erling Haaland, right? Julian Alvarez. What I mean, where does Liam Delap find the space in the team? And another mystery, another question mark for me. Where does he find the time? I mean, where does he find the space to get into the City team? I do not know. But again, Alvarez might play on the right wing a bit, and again, Haaland, the theory is Haaland might not start every match, so Delap might get more of the game time, because many clubs on the Premier League want to take a Delap on loan or even on a permanent basis. So we can't hold back these players, Delap, Palmer, McAtee, for long actually. So Pep, that's another challenge for Pep actually, that he has to find. Places for these players in the team again without losing competitiveness. That is the main thing. You can I think we are in a transition, and you can transition a team, and you could well say your fans, we will not be competitive for the next 2 3 years, will not win trophies. But I think the uniqueness of Pep Guardiola is he integrates players into the team without the team losing his sharp edge, losing its sharpness. uh, Football Freak says Silva came from Valencia. Exactly, and Silva was. They say that Silva was the only player who could get into that Barca team when Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets, that famed midfield was there. So Silva was technically so good. Gaurav says Liam Delap career at City will finish surely after 1 2 seasons. I think. Again, Gaurav, if Liam Delap actually he performs, then Pep will have no options. He will have to tweak the system, for example, to play two strikers. That will be interesting. It's just the Delap have just to perform. That's all. Football tricks is I used to love Ferran Torres when he came from Valencia. But the way he left, like club trusted you to play as a striker, but he wanted to move to Barca, be a cult hero, and see what he is now. And seeing, what has happened to what Ferran Torres did, what an Eric Garcia did, the respect for David Silva grows even more. Because the respect for David Silva, the respect for Kun Aguero grows even more. In a sense, the respect for Yaya Toure as well, respect of all of the antics he did. Because Zabaleta, I mean, all of these people, they came to us when they had better options elsewhere. And you look at the Prads now, they are sort of leaving to Barca in search of that to pull and stuff. That is what differentiates you from being a legend and being not being and being not a legend. It's having that belief in the project that you're in. It's dedicating yourself completely to a project when you have come. See, Ferran Torres has come here. He started learning from Pep. One season is over. I mean, he goes to Barca. That really shows me a lack of dedication. Whatever people might say, play in a Barca shirt, Camp Nou and all. Lack of dedication. Lack of dedication is the thing. Okay, you grow more, and then maybe after 5 6 years you want to go and play in another club. Maybe you want to look for another challenge. That is something different. But what is this? Just one season? It just shows a lack of commitment, a lack of dedication and stuff. I think that's what separates the players who go on to become the absolute best, who go on to become legends, and the players who end up irrespective of all of those talents, who end up not achieving things. Football Crick says he chose City as a stepping stone, even though Sane moved to Bayern, but he still loves City. Again, I stepping stone, but I maybe we were a stepping stone for Ferran Torres. Okay, I'm okay. I will accept that because it again depends on the player, right? He wants to play elsewhere, but you can't be a stepping stone just for 1 year, right? If you choose a project, you have to be there for 3 4 5 years, and then you develop and go to Barca, right? Or you go to Real Madrid or whichever club you want. Because when Ferran Torres came, I thought he was the next Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, that's how they wrote articles about him, the way he moves and all of that, the tenacity in his game and all of those things. But again, the lack of dedication is why Leroy Sané is another example. Leroy Sané wasn't fully developed before he left City, and that is the reason for his downfall at Bayern. Leroy Sané didn't want to get out. He became too comfortable. Leroy Sané for me, he didn't want to get out of his comfort zone, and that is one of the reasons why he didn't succeed at Bayern. Because if you are a really good player, it doesn't matter what the league is. It doesn't matter what the physicality of the league is. David Silva was an example, right? Roberto Mancini's assistant tells the story that everybody except, I mean, it was only Mancini who wanted David Silva. I mean, who believed in David Silva. All the other scouts were telling that he's in terms of physicality, he can't adapt to the Premier League. So I mean, I think it all depends on the kind of a player you are. You can adapt to any league. It's just crap that when I hear, oh, this player but cannot adapt to this league. If you really want to grow, you will learn the language and you'll adapt to the league. Pep always tells this. Football Crick says Sane is still loved by City fans. We understand he wanted to play the World Cup for Germany. You can play for Germany only by joining Bayern. I mean, Sane, that 2000, again, that Centurion season, that is how we love him. But the love for Sane for me is, I always wish that maybe Sane was there 2 years more or 3 years more at least. He was almost developing into a beast down that side. He was almost becoming unplayable in the Premier League. I mean, it's not for the lack of love for Sane. It's for the love for Sane that I think that he should have stayed more in the Premier League because It would have allowed him to develop much more. That's it. See, because otherwise, if I don't love Sane, I would have okay gone. He's gone to the Bundesliga. We've got rid of him. No, because the potential is there, the talent is there. You know, the saddest thing is you have potential, you have talent, and yet see, wasted potential is one of the saddest things in football, in life as well. And football is a great illustration of that. You can find a lots of graves in football of wasted potential, of wasted talent, right from your Hatif Ben Arfa to lot of examples in football. So I do not want Leroy Sané to fall into that category, because he has given us lots of memories, especially in that 17th centurion season. Gaurav says, who cares? We sold him at 55 million. Yeah. Football Kick says, maybe Sane actually the next Ronaldo or Robin. Even Football Kicks, even Sterling now. With Sterling, it's different. See, it's different with Sterling and Sane. With Sterling, I think he has reached his potential. He has hit the ceiling, and I don't think that Sterling can go beyond that. Sterling is like he in terms of his finishing movement, he has already reached that threshold. But Sane was just beginning to go towards those heights. So the thing with Sane and thing with Sterling, I think, is totally different. And with Sterling, I think it's justifiable on both the parties, because Sterling has done offered whatever he could to the club, and at this point of his career, Sterling wanted to start day in and day out reasonable. He couldn't do it here because he has reached the threshold. So with Sterling, it's different. With Sane, it's completely something else. Gaurav says Sterling left the club. I'm very much happy. Sterling and Jesus, a lot of City fans are happy, me included. I mean, most of our fan base is happy with Sterling and Jesus leave the club. It's just because of yeah, it's just because that they miss open goals, and those open goals are so crucial, in winning the top competitions, cup competitions. I saw the list of the top chances missed, the top XG chances missed in the Premier League over the last 3 years. Consistently every year, which two players are in the top three? Every year consistently, Sterling Hayes in the last 3 4 years. So I think you can imagine. I mean, one goal. Real Madrid semi-final was an example of why we needed to get rid of Jesus and Sterling. Football Critic says Sane loves City and still watches our matches. That touched City fans. I mean, whichever player has come to this club, Football Critic is always left with more love, more affection towards him by the fans, by the club. More, he is left the club developed as a person, but also with more love showered on him. So I've not seen a player in the last decade who has not been who has left the club angrily or something like that. They have gone because they wanted to more playing time, or something like that. But everyone has gone with affection, with more love from the club. Gaurav says to win regularly, we need to refresh our squad, and I mean, more than refresh our squad, Gaurav, I think we needed to evolve our squad. How do you evolve from a Gabriel Jesus and a Raheem Sterling? Bring in lethal finishers, Alvarez and Haaland. When you bought them, it doesn't make sense to keep the old stock, right, of Sterling and Jesus, because in big games they might miss an open goal again because they're already there. So best was to move them on and get Haaland and Alvarez. Football tricks is still Sane at City was a different breed. That entire season was a different breed. Football tricks, and I somehow thought that if we had that squad that season for another 1 2 years, we would surely won the Champions League, because you had everything that Centurion season to win any competition, to win a Champions League. The pace of Sane, the pace of Sterling, the positioning movement of Aguero, the guile of a David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, the tenacity of a Fernandinho, Vincent Kompany, John Stones, Walker. I mean, everyone. Maybe left back was an issue, but other than that, everyone. I mean, we had. I think that squad is. I think I feel unlucky that squad was broken up on very fast, and it didn't last for long, because after that squad, when was the next time we had that much pace on the wings? And when was the next time after that squad broke up, the Centurion squad, that we had two attacking midfielders playing and just one holding midfielder? I think the peculiarities of that squad was it was ultra attacking. Pep really was on the front foot. And I think the Liverpool games that season were in the league and in the Champions League, it changed Pep's mindset. Pep thought that maybe in England I need a box to box midfielder as well, two attacking midfielders, and it's not that easy to win. And he changed the system then. Football Crick says, I haven't seen our left winger more effective since Sane left that left-footed winger. And I think we have never had that profile of a left winger there who is that pacey, who is that direct, and also just not Sane. After that, David Silva's playing time was also reduced after that squad broke up due to his personal issues and a bit of niggles and all. But we have also not had two cams playing, right? So the attacking nature of that squad was incredible actually. In FIFA, even if you have ultra attacking, I don't think you can have such an attacking squad. Gaurav says Pep always signs one or two players after every season to add to competition, not just to add to competition, because you just sometimes you see managers sign players for the sake of signing them, but Pep signs players only if he feels that player can improve and take him to the next level. Gaurav says some City fans want every player to stay and also want new signing. How can this be possible? That's the kind of love we have towards every player. That's why a player comes in and he feels at home. There are some clubs where a player comes in and sometimes the player might feel a bit unsettled. They might take time to settle in. Okay, in terms of the playing style, players take time to adapt to the Pep system, but in terms of feeling at home, in terms of being loved by the squad and stuff, I think every player. You see Calvin Phillips, for example. It seems that Calvin Phillips is with us for the last 2 3 years. He's feeling so comfortable there. You see him in the training sessions. You see him chatting with everyone. It's Jack Grealish as well. So I think that's another unique nature of this club, making everyone feel loved. Football Freak says Zapaleta hinted Gundo will be our next captain. And I mean, Zabaleta has told that, and also Rodri has told that with the old captaincy group, going off with Fernandino, especially retiring. Rodri has actually spoken about, him wanting to take on that mantle as well. Him having the desire to be a part of that championship. I mean, captaincy group as well. That's good because I see that Rodri is. He's a leadership material for sure. He's calm in situations and stuff. But Rodri has also told that Ruben Diaz, apart from Gundogan, Ruben Diaz also could be a good choice. And also, by the way, Zapaleta, I think it was the same question we discussed on this channel about Raheem Sterling being a legend or not. And Zapaleta has actually also come out with a statement saying that Raheem Sterling is not a City legend at all. Definitely is not a City legend. He's a good player, great player for the club, but is not a City legend. Football Crick says KDB deserves a World Cup. KDB also deserves a Champions League. Football Crick, he deserves a World Cup and Champions League as well. KDB was so hurt in that Porto Champions League final. Rudiger got him injured, and a couple of Chelsea fans met them after the match, and they told that if KDB was not injured, they thought that KDB will somehow provide an assist and Aguero will score the goal. Anyway, that match was again peculiar. Pep didn't start with a CM holding midfielder and stuff actually. So it was peculiar, but KDB definitely deserves a World Cup. He deserves a Champions League for sure. Football Critic says either of Sane or Jesus will return to City as unfinished business. It's difficult to say because it could be that both of them could return, but I actually think Jesus will return to City, especially if that Arteta thing, which we were talking about a few days back, works out. Because Arteta might come when Pep goes in 3 4 years, for example, imagining he'll go, and if Arteta comes to City from Arsenal, then I think he could bring Jesus actually with him, and Jesus. And we have to remember that Mikel Arteta is one of the best coaches in terms of training people with finishing. Raheem Sterling's finishing has improved 100x after Arteta's coaching, which tells you how crap Raheem Sterling anyways was with finishing. And Gabriel Jesus has that natural finishing instinct in him. So I do think that maybe he'll evolve more at Arsenal into that striking sensation which people thought he will be when he came to City. And especially at 27, 28, he might come to City with Arteta, and that could be the best time, to come actually. Gaurav says we have to win UCL for God's sake this season. Please give some luck this season. I mean, luck and City, Gaurav. Luck and City have always been on like North Pole and South Pole. Always, they've never liked each other. That is seen throughout the history. The slogan is they let you up and they let you down. They push you up and they let you down. So with supporting City as throughout the history has always been, that 93-20 movement. It's always been a sense of going against the tide, going against all of the destiny, for example, and winning things. So when we win the Champions League, I think winning the Champions League will be so somewhat like an Aston Villa moment, somewhat like a 93-20 moment in 2011, like an Aston Villa moment this season. It won't come in the easy way. It will come in the way which, when you'll remember it, it will be like, wow, even after 10 years, the moment will be like, wow, I've been there in that moment. Just like we were in that moment in the Aston Villa thing, and we watched the Aguero's goal in 2011. So winning the Champions League will be one of the most beautiful moments. Again, it will not be about just lifting the trophy. It will be more than it. It will be about the way we win it. I think one of the specialities of this club is the way we win it has always superseded us actually lifting that trophy. A few fans talk just about lifting the trophies and all of that, but for us, it's I think the movements associated with the with lifting the trophies has actually made it more sweet and more better. Vinay says, no Arteta, please, Vieira or Potter. I'm a big fan of Graham Potter, Vinay, but Patrick Vieira is too defensively minded. I think I don't see Patrick Vieira at City, but you never know. But I don't think Patrick Vieira, but I think Graham Potter is a big chance if he's available at that time and if he doesn't go to any other club, top four club. But Arteta, I think Arteta and Potter, the competition will be very close because Arteta knows the ins and outs of the club, and Arteta has been Pep's right hand man. See, the thing here is you are Pep Guardiola and you're leaving in a 2026. And the club will definitely take your opinion, right? Because you have almost built this club in terms of your philosophy and all, right? And the club would want that philosophy to continue. They would ask Pep Guardiola, who would be your consideration? I think then Arteta could actually have a better chance than Graham Potter, I think. But honestly, I actually want Graham Potter much more than Mikel Arteta. Vinay says, as we know, UEFA versus City, they somehow manipulated. But UEFA, we have taught UEFA already a lesson. Vinay, almost all of the opposition clubs, everyone wanted us to be banned. That's what again about luck. What I'm telling is when we do something, it's not because when we win something or do something, it's not because we are lucky as a club. It's because we fight against destiny and everything and still conquer it. That UEFA case was an example when everything was stacked against us. All of the rumors spread in the journalist world was like City are an evil group or something, and all of our trophies should be taken away and all. And it's not just we won the case, we fought against all of that and we have come out. It takes a certain kind of a mentality at the helm, at the very top of throughout the club, not just at the top of the management, to fight throughout the club, including the fans, to fight such allegations. So we will win the Champions League at some point, and it will be one of the most beautiful moments. I just can't imagine how the moment will happen. Will it be another Aguero moment with Julian Alvarez, or with an Erling Haaland, or with Kevin De Bruyne striking a bullet, winning a long range bullet, winning it for us? Or will it be a penalty kick from Ederson that wins it for us in the penalty shootout? I do not actually know about it, but what I know is it will be one of the most beautiful moments. Anyway, guys, it's been wonderful chatting with you all. Thank you all for the interaction in the comments. It's this community is great. It's just wonderful. Uh, we have another comment. Football Freak says this season seems something different. Gut feeling. Either we will fail miserably or we will do wonders. Even seeing the training videos, right? Everyone is like so relaxed. Everyone is like so calm. It almost gives me a feeling of like warriors. We are just it almost gives me a feeling of we are almost prepared. We are almost like ruthless assassins. The players can't wait for the season to start. So it could go either way in football. You can't predict, but probability is something interesting, and the probability of us doing very well is much greater this season. The only thing is we can't afford to have a slow start this season because the season is intense with it being a World Cup year. So that will be a big factor because all of the previous seasons, especially the last two seasons, we have started very slowly and then picked up. I think we can't afford to do that this season. Anyway, guys, tomorrow morning for the preseason match, we'll actually have a watch along on the channel. So do join us for the watch along. I really hope it will be a really good preseason game. And Football Fix is how one first game for trophy is against Liverpool. Exactly. I mean, Liverpool will be more tougher this season, I think, because they've realized the mistakes of last season. Liverpool dropped a lot of points in that December-ish sort of a thing. So I think we can't do that same mistake by dropping a lot of points in August and September, for example. So that is one thing we'll have to actually ward off, but we'll see how the season goes. Anyway, guys, do join me for the watch along tomorrow morning, Club America versus City. Let's see how the game goes. Very excited to see that game. And anyway, guys, take care. And again, thank you so much for the wonderful interaction. Community is really great. Thank you so much, guys, and see you all. Take care.